Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be sharing something I found on the internet with you guys about coding and how you should go about, before you start learning any technology in the coding field. So it happened as I was scrolling through, Facebook as usual. Then I came across this post, and the title was "Things I Wish I Had Learned Before, going into coding, programming, and all of that." So I'll be reading it out to you guys and explaining, some of my opinions on whatever points are there to you as we go along in this video. Stay tuned. The first point here is learn how to document. So when I personally started out coding, I didn't really know what this meant. But for you, who are trying to get into coding, documentation actually means, writing stuff about your code in the code itself. You get, so that other developers that want to maybe read through your code can actually be able to do that very easily. And it says here that no matter the size of the application you have built, please have a documentation for it, very necessary. And this, your documentation should kind of like define a few components. First of all, how to run whatever it is you have built. Even if it's a very simple, you're just starting out and maybe you built a very simple calculator with Python, you should have a documentation. You might not know the usefulness of the documentation then and there, but when you have started building like much more complex applications, then you would see why it is actually very necessary to document your code. And you should have documentations even in the simplest of applications. So next here it says that you should also have technical documentation. It says you should define the purpose of each file and directory, structure and general code philosophy, and anything you would want a developer to take notes of. So there are some applications, very simple basic applications that are single file applications. Say we wrote a program that prints hello world to the screen, that's a single file application. But then you have bigger applications like, I don't know, a stopwatch or a game, yeah, especially games. You should have, documentation that would actually say, oh, this is what this particular folder in this particular game kind of does. Maybe you have a skins folder where you kind of like put, skins or players or characters in your game, whatever. Just have documentations that clearly defines what the folder is used for. Yeah, so the second thing that you should know before you start your programming journey is you should learn how to read documentation. Yeah, by the way, all this stuff I'm saying, I'm actually also learning from it. So it's not as if I've been like this great programmer for like years and years. No, like I said, I came across this info and decided to kind of like share it with you guys while also learning it myself. So learn how to read documentation. I sincerely have never done this before, but as I've seen this stuff, I should actually try it. Yeah, if you've ever seen the documentation of Python before, like because I think I've checked it once or twice. If you have seen it before, you would know that attempting to read any documentation actually seems very daunting. It's like you're trying to read, what will I say, like trying to read Spanish like for the first time. But on a serious note, reading documentation can be daunting, but it is very useful. Like that's what I read here. But it says that reading documentation of a framework or library is very daunting. In the eyes of a beginner like me, it looks like a waste of time. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I have to tell you that forcing yourself to read the documentation is the best thing you can do. Don't let all your knowledge of a framework come from videos alone. You will be surprised that you only know about 8% of the framework library or language if you do so. So it says here that if beginners like you and me are, basing our knowledge on just videos, online YouTube tutorials alone, we would know much. Yeah, when I finish like a YouTube tutorial, I feel like I have known it all and stuff. But this guy is saying that, nah. And it actually makes sense because the documentation of any programming language kind of like gives the full detail of everything. Because the guys that build the programming language know everything about the programming language. So in the documentation, you will get everything there. So I'm looking to take this guy's advice, and I'm looking to actually start learning how to build documentation. So the next stuff here is to enjoy the process. Ish. Yeah, when I kind of like started out, you know, I think my first ever program was the Hello program, like most of us. I was amazed, I was perplexed. I started with Python. I was amazed that wow, this shit works. And for like weeks after that, you would see me every night. Once I charged my laptop, I would be like, I'm trying this stuff, I'm trying this stuff. But over time it got like boring because sometimes my mindset has shifted from like complete novice. I'm just trying things out and they work, they don't work, I don't give a fuck. But I got to that level where I want this stuff to work. This stuff has to work. I should be writing good code. But this guy is saying that the goal is not to write functioning code. The goal is to understand what makes the code function. So when you see a bug, in programming is an error. You get any error at all. Don't just go around cutting and pasting code snippet in order to get the error. Google, our best friend. Like I've actually done that before. Once I see an error, I don't want to see it. I just go to Google and like how to solve Kiniko error. And I just copy and paste, not knowing what caused the error, why the error came up, and how to actually fix the error. But this guy here says that when you see a bug, don't just go around cutting and pasting code in order to get rid of it. Follow this framework in order to debug. Okay, he said first of all you should research while this error exists. Research the possible causes of the error. Also try to understand what you did that might have prompted that error. Test other scenarios. Read documentation. Solve the bug. Yeah, if you're able to solve the bug. And then recreate the bug in order to fully understand what you're doing. If you can recreate the bug, intentionally, then you kind of like have gotten a hang of what caused the bug and blah blah. So that is it for enjoying the process. Yeah, do not think that you must write perfect code. You should just I'm finding it hard to feed this stuff to my brain, like do not think that you should write functioning code. I think one thing is that if you think of it very well, some experts have actually used almost like 9 years to actually perfect their coding skills. So you that is just starting out should not base your focus on I need to be an expert in 1 year, 2 years. Coding is actually a very wide thing to do, and you should have patience and just have zeal to learn, and also zeal to make mistakes. Yeah, so the next thing here is that you should know that every language or framework is just another tool. Yeah, so every technology out there is built to serve a purpose. There is no need for language or framework hate. There is no need to talk down on any technology. Yeah, my friends that hate PHP, booyah. I actually fell into this ditch some time ago when I saw this post saying PHP is old stuff, you should learn Node.js, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that stuff might be true, but then what you have to focus on is the job at hand. What do you want to do? You get, if it's that you're learning the basics of back-end web development, I suggest you should first of all try PHP. You get, and if you're like you want to work for a company, you have something to do, a website to build, then I suggest you Node. The job at hand determines what tool you should use. You get, not the I think this guy said not emotions. You get, technology are tools, use the one that suits the job. Don't get emotional in tech. if what you know currently can't do the job at hand, I'm stressing on it, the job at hand, the best thing to do is to upgrade your knowledge, maybe to a new framework or language, and kickstart from there. Yeah, the last thing here is that it will take time. It will take time. Funny enough, I started back in 2020. Yeah, one random class like that, and this is 2022, and I cannot even say I'm intermediate in Python. Maybe because of school and some other stuff, but just know that this stuff will take time because there are other things to do in life, especially with the educational system in Nigeria where you have to focus on school, that stuff, this stuff. It will just take time. So you can't start learning today and hope to be an expert in a few weeks. Please do not do that. People go to school for 13 years and they still can't call themselves experts in their field. 13 years. Take your time to learn. Take your time to understand. It's not easy out there. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And discipline achieves more than flickering motivation. Than, hey, I get to code today, I want to code tomorrow. You get all that stuff. Just take it easy. Coding is not, child's play. You should be intentional about it. You should take your time and hope you get it soon. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to share. That's all, at least I found from the write-up. It's a bit sad. I've forgotten the person that actually posted this. It was on a particular programming group on Facebook, but I don't know the actual person. I would have maybe linked the person's Facebook account just to tell him thank you, but I didn't. So thank you guys. If you watched up to this point, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more of this. And I want to sincerely apologize. My first video on this channel was that introduction to programming video, but hopefully in my next video I'll be kicking off with the Python installation. See you guys in the next video. Thank you. Yes. Hey, I'm coming over.